From Blackbridge sidings we'll carry on the track bed all the way into Ayot, but then we can't go any further because this map shows quite clearly the original A1, but now there's an A1M right through the middle of this.
Come to the top of the bridge now. The runners are all running down the side. Gladly we found a slight incline for ourselves, which made it safer for ourselves to come up. But we were down there a second ago.
Well, this is a photograph taken 20 or 30 years ago, obviously taken in winter time because there's very little foliage, and you can see how well the bridge stood the test of time.
We're actually heading up towards Ayot now, and you can see the curve of the track as we go becomes much more obvious. We're having trouble holding all this together to show you this and make it simple, but ultimately here's the road coming around here and coming down. And we've also got the bridge here, which you see in our picture on the right, okay? And then we're also going to go to the station house, which is here.
Yeah, that's right.
So
we are standing roughly where this picture was taken, roughly, probably a little bit back from it.
yeah,
And showing you the bridge and the track heading into Ayot station and the signal box.
and there's the road, which you can hear a car going past on.
And that's it now. This is where the bridge would have been. It comes straight across here. Now, obviously, the bridge was, or the road itself was a lot narrower here. And the reason why they took the bridge out as quickly as they did was because they had a very sharp curve in the road. They wanted to alleviate this because you've got this lane here, and you've got also the lane heading up towards the station there. But as Gavin scans round, you can see quite clearly the rail went across here. So therefore, it would have been a much narrower road. It's almost impossible to imagine what it was like, Gavin, because it's all grown over. Can you hear the A1M?
Yeah.
Right, we've now crossed over the road and climbed back up to the track level again, the track bed. This is where the track went straight down. 100 yards further on would have been Ayot station. Completely gone now, completely covered over. Nature really knows how to take things back. Okay, so we are now walking along the track bed up here, Highland Embankment. You see quite clearly down the bottom end, there's the road. You can just see it's curved away up the hill. So we are here, and just down there was the station master's house, which is still there now. We are now standing on roughly the spot where this piss was taken in the early 1900s. You can see quite clearly the station had a passing loop, you had up and down running platforms, and it was all mostly made from wood. We are standing here now.
Now, you just would not believe it, would you? That was a station.
Yeah, it's funny how nature really does take over. Because as you can see, there's the platform. It might even be part of the waiting room. And look, there's another bit of wood there, look. So you've got two massive uprights. That, I am sure that would have been something to do with this. The footings of the waiting shelter.
Just some perspective, we've stepped into this area here, and we think this is possibly the base of the chimney.
The chimney from the waiting room. Because the chimney is brick.
Yeah.
wouldn't have made out of wood, would they?
No, certainly. And, you know, there is a little bit of writing on it.
In fact, what's this say?
Multi something.
Yeah, multi. That's upside down. Registered.
Anybody know what that is? Please let us know in the comments.
But this, I am sure, is where the waiting room would have been.
So this is the footpath.
The footpath, well, it's the footpath still here, look.
Yeah, which obviously legally it would have to be.
Yeah. And this, there would have been a gate across here.
In fact, there's the gate there, look. That is the gate.
Oh, yeah, that's the gate there, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, look how wide it is.
Yeah.
That's the gate.
Yeah, so when you look at the map.
Yeah, when you look at the map there, you see
Yeah.
it become a footpath this side,
Yeah.
but it become like a little trail or something,
Yeah.
which led across the tracks down into the station forecourt. Or also would have acted as you've got all the sidings here, which we'll talk about in a minute, and there was a local brickworks here. Well, the local bricks used to take their stuff to here to be loaded up.
Yeah. So we reckon that's also point wadding.
That is railway related,
Yeah.
definitely.
Hiding underneath the brambles.
Yeah. And here's the gate on the other side.
Yeah, look, you can actually see part of the structure of the gate as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gate on the other side.
Isn't it amazing how we're walking
And
back
if
in
I
time?
turn round, I'll show you another picture of the station.
Again, thanks Jeff for letting us use footage from your book.
You can see quite clearly we are standing in the same spot that this picture was taken, because just here is the gates we've just looked at,
Yeah.
and just there is the other side. This is what it's like now.
You wouldn't have a Scooby, would you? And there's the gate posts.
Just down there is the station master's house, which is on this picture.
So we see the actual posts of the gates at the station. Here's the posts again, coming back to the map.
As we said, there was a road that come from the little village, come up here, past the brickworks and what have you. So that it's gated there and gated here to protect the railway line. As we come past, there was a road that went into the goods yard, and here's the entrance to the footpath that ran along. We've just seen the kissing gate that belongs to the footpath. It is still in situ.
We're walking through yard, footpath, kissing gate, and we're standing in what they must have cleared in this area here. The track would have gone on that way.
This area now is what would have known as Ayot Yard. Well, the reason why Ayot Station, or the lack of it, is so overgrown, because in 1948 the station caught alight. Basically what they think happened was a passing steam train, some embers coming out of the chimney, probably settled on a platform, which again was made out of wood, and probably over a few minutes or so slowly mouldered away, and then the platform caught alight, and very, very quickly the whole station caught alight. You can actually see the extent and the heat come off because the track has actually buckled. Just goes to show how hot that fire must have been.
And this picture is available on many of the placards along the route as well that talk about this route So we're glad we've been able to blow it up a little bit so you can see it. But that's where the track and the station was. You wouldn't have a clue.
Just another picture of our station after the fire, quite clearly showing the devastation that took place, and the fact that because the station was so infrequently used, they decided not to rebuild it, and the only thing left was the brick built toilet on the end here.
Cheers again, Jeff, for your photo.
This was a picture taken around 1960 or 1960s, quite clearly showing what was left of the station itself, just a brick-built toilet. You can see quite clearly the signal box on the left-hand side. There were some gates again that crossed over, and then you can see the track disappearing down towards Welwyn Garden City. You can just make out the signals. We are now heading to what was Ayot Yard. This is a wonderful colour picture of how this would have been. You can see quite clearly the gate crossing that we see there, the signal box just a little bit further on, and the track heading down again towards Welwyn Garden City. Beautiful colour picture. We're looking the other way now towards Luton, on a train right by the side of what was the signal box there. You can see again the bollards that held the gates up and what have you. So standing in the same spot today, unrecognisable. So here we have another picture, this time looking towards Welwyn Garden City, showing quite clearly the signal box on the left hand side, the track heading down with its passing loop, and you can just about see on the right hand side the extensive sidings that they had here. There was quite a large amount of sidings here. There were 3 sidings that were quite long. There was quite a lot of industry here. You had coal, you had your brick merchants, and of course you always had your arable stuff like your vegetables and fruit. This picture shows quite clearly 2 locomotives heading up the branch. They are at the very end of the yard. You can see quite clearly now we are in a very wide cutting, if you like. There's the fence one side, and if Gavin pans round, you can see the fence right over there. There's actually 5 railway lines along here, 3 sidings, and the runaround loop and the main line that went up from Dunstable to Welwyn Garden City was way over on my right hand side. But as you can see, it's completely covered in now. Just down there, there's a line of trees and bushes. That is now where the A1M is. So we cannot go any further in towards Welwyn Garden City. The final picture I want to show you is of the very end of the yard. You can see where the end of the track is with the buffer stop. You can see where the passing loop joins up with the main line, for the want of a reason, and just beyond it you can see the original A1 bridge. That is still there today. Just for argument's sake, this bit of the track we cannot replicate anymore because it's now built on, part of the A1M.
In the yard we're finding a little bit more infrastructure. If you look closely, you can see a little bit of concrete work here. You see it all underneath the bramble. White material is some more sleepers, but we think this is some of the building that was in the yard itself.
There was. We actually think this is part of the building that was used as an office for the yard.
Yeah. There's a little bit of concrete work there, that's what gives it away. Some more broken down concrete, some brickwork as well that the tree's gone over. So yeah, we think this is the building.
Almost definitely.
There is a telegraph pole there.
Yep, there it is, Gav.
These are clearly railway.
Railway related, yes. Yeah, the old footpath, yeah. So again, you know, the wooden bits here would have been the fence to hold up the...
Correct.
The
old wire fence.
Yeah. But look at this has been put in.
Yeah.
maybe to hold up part of the station,
Yeah.
because the station was here. Yeah, these bits of wood here, Gavin,
Yep.
they're supports for the original station, because it was here.
Right.
It was just up above
Yeah,
there.
just above here. Well, thank you very much for your time. It really does.
Well, I'm an enthusiast in the same way.
Sure.
Not as deeply as you, but I've always been very interested in this whole.
Right, this is.
Jenny's father, when they moved here, his job went back to King's Cross.
Right.
So he went to work from here.
Yes, yes, of course, from King's
Changed
Cross.
at Hatfield.
Yes.
And
Yes,
there's
of course. Yes, you
there's
changed.
still
Yeah.
more- There's a very
Yeah. The infrastructure,
look
how.
at the weight of it.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't skimp, did
They
they?
did not. That's incredible.
Look at that. And this is exactly the same as what was Harpenden. The same style kissing gate.
Yes, right. Yeah.
And
That's what-
this is an original railway gate, obviously here,
Yes.
which is just in a state of collapse, but it's quite
Right.
interesting.
Yes, of course. Yes. Yes.
And there's the A1 as it was, which
Oh,
ran
yes, of course.
between the Wagoners Public House and the Red Lion,
Yeah.
where the motorway bridge is now.
Sure.
And used to struggle up Digswell Hill from Welwyn,
Right.
or struggle up Brickwall
Yes.
Hill from
From-
Lemsford.
Yes.
And at the top, really at the crest, was Eyck Green, and there was a beautiful ancient house there, which was the toll gate.
Oh, right. Yes,
And
for the A1.
That was
Yes.
uplifted completely, you know, when the
Street.
A1M was built.
Yes.
A man bought the house and uplifted it and took it somewhere
right.
into Norfolk. It still exists.
Crikey. Right.
That's as good as we can say today.
Oh my gosh. Well,
And
thank
as you say, there was a passing loop here,
Yes,
which closed down there.
that's right.
And where the embankment is
Well,
now,
yeah.
there was the bridge.
Yes,
Eventually
just
you
the other side of the
Eventually
bridge.
you got to the
Yeah.
bridge.
Yes.
Yeah, the bridge is still there.
Oh,
That
yes.
is the old A1
The
bridge.
A1 bridge.
Have you looked over the side of it? Because it's a hell of a drop.
Yes. Oh, I've done it.
Yeah.
I've done it.
It's
But
quite
this
a
was
climb.
many years
Yeah,
ago
it's a long way down.
before we decided to film this. So this
Yes.
is what we need to do.
So we were blessed to have a conversation with the lady who lives there, and she was a little girl when the station was operating. She remembers going into sitting with the signalman,
Signal boxman, yep.
and she allowed us to have a lovely conversation with her. A very high ceiling building, and she's lived there with her parents. It was a fascinating conversation, and of course,
Yeah,
out of privacy, we
1948.
only filming the outside of the station house. So that concludes our walk, and we've had a fantastic time as always, and it's been one of experience too, because we managed to have the privilege of going into the station house and speaking to the resident who's been there for a very long time, and she was a lovely person, and that was really helpful.
Yes, again, Gavin, thanks for a lovely walk. I had done this many, many years ago. Not much has changed, apart from it's a lot more foliage. But you've actually spotted one or two things that I never spotted, which is really, really good. But obviously these bring back memories, because when I was a child, I remember Wheathampstead, I remember this line. I never actually remember a train running on it at Blackbridge. I remember being on the bridge itself. So this has been a fantastic walk.
So until we see you again, be safe, look after yourselves, get out into the great outdoors, and we look forward to speaking to you on our next video.
Indeed. Bye-bye. Right. So, quick, very quick. So, I don't even want to do that.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay.
Yeah. And now all these people behind us are running down in front of it.
We got here just in time, Gavin.
We did, only just. I mean, literally just. The first runner ran past us.
Well, first, about half a dozen,
Yeah.
and we got here just in time. Phew.
Otherwise, we could have had a problem.
Quite a wide cutting. If I talk about this picture,
Yeah.
Right, whenever you're ready.
Go.
Wide,
Yeah.
isn't it? When I say that, so
Yeah, go for it.
right. As I just said before, the road that come up here had the massive great gates here, but when it reached the other side, it was just a path. And just out here, we've just seen the kissing gate to the path itself.
So we'll wander through the gate, first gate from the station, and there's the kissing gate. Going along what is being called Oat Path. Maybe it said something
Footpath.
else. All right, well, let's try that some other way then.
Okay.
We'll call it footpath. Yeah.
Yeah, well that's what it is, a footpath.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Yeah. So I'm going to film that again, and that can go in the bloopers.